podcast where we track down the weird, the cryptic, and the paranormal to discuss the evidence and decide what we really believe. I'm Seth Dowd.
I'm Kady Morgan.
And I'm Logun P.
This episode, we will be discovering if there really are hauntings in the Moundsville Penitentiary. But first, it's time for today's Guess the Cryptid. Guess the Cryptid is where Logan will give us some facts and descriptions about a cryptic creature, and we try to guess what it is.
Alright, so let me start it off. I'm 10 feet tall with a 4 wide length with a robotic suit. Some people say I'm armless, and others, and my other nicknames, Braxy, the Braxton County Monster, and the Femtile Monster. The first reported sighting was on September 12th, 1952. At 7:15 p.m. by 3 little boys. One local dog ran ahead out of sight and started barking. A ball of fire about 50 feet away.
Wow. Okay, that's a hard one. This is one I've not heard of before.
I am surprised.
Seth, you got any ideas?
I'm going to be honest, I have no clue.
Man, you picked a hard one for the first one. All right.
I thought you would have known.
I don't know. I mean, the only thing I was thinking of was, well, it definitely wouldn't be right, but I don't know.
I have no clue. I pretty much, only the cryptids I know is like Bigfoot and Mothman.
Monster.
Flatwoods Monster.
I have no idea what that is. Never heard of it.
Yeah.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
All right, I'm going to have to look that one up later. Now it's time for Do You Believe? This is our main segment of the podcast where we have myself, a believer, and Logan, a non-believer in paranormal activity. And our friend Seth here is actually in the middle. He doesn't know if he believes or not. So this is where we try and convince Seth of if it's haunted or if it's not. So today we're going to be talking about the Moundsville Penitentiary, which is pretty local to us here in St. Clairsville. It's known worldwide for its violence and hostility. It's had some pretty strange occurrences, too. Some basic facts about the Moundsville Penitentiary. It was opened in 1876 and it closed in 1995. It was closed a few years after a court ruled that confinement in 5x7 cells was cruel and unusual. Now, the first haunting started around the 1930s. It's actually the 8th most haunted prison facility in the U.S. A lot of the hauntings are there because of the fact that there were 998 deaths inside the facility while it was open. The first ghost is actually believed to be one of R.D. Wall, who was killed inside a boiler room by fellow inmates in the penitentiary.
Is he like a shadow person or something?
That's what they call him. He's a full-bodied apparition. He's...
Okay, that could easily be some hitchhiker going in that castle they call prison and walking around.
It's pretty secure, though. I mean, it was a prison facility when he was first spotted, and it was pretty secure. I mean, they sound the alarms and investigated, and when they got there was nobody there.
People are pretty stealthy. I guarantee you. If someone like Toby went in there, he could easily be, like, doing that.
But whenever the prison was open and in lockdown all the time?
Yeah, he will get his biscuits burnt.
Well, I don't know. I just don't see how it's possible for a person to get through the facility. But if that's what you think, then explain this. There have been apparitions also of just floating heads in the prison.
Dust?
Dust?
Dust.
I'm the skeptic here. What do you think I'm going to say?
I would think like something like it could just be like
Or people
lights.
are insomniacs because they didn't get enough sleep at the night and they're seeing stuff. Like I see stuff like black, white, and gray stuff because I didn't get that much sleep last nights.
Well, let me ask you this then.
All right.
How would you explain all the other unusual occurrences? Let me elaborate on that. There are people who have gone in the prison and who have come out with scratch marks on their face and on their back and with a burning sensation. And there have been people who have felt the presence of a being and they have had a physical touch, like grab them and stop them in their tracks. There have been cases of telltale signs of hauntings that the temperature will just drop and you can see your breath. That's an obvious sign of a paranormal being.
The scratches, I'll say like maybe a raccoon got in there and is defending his turf.
They would have seen a raccoon, though.
There has been stories where a woman got attacked by a raccoon in the penitentiary, so.
Ha!
But what if it wasn't a raccoon?
The lady
What
saw
about
the
the
raccoon.
people? What about the people who never saw a raccoon?
True.
Oh, and your temperature thing, body heat, that's the best I got.
I mean, I feel like there are some pretty clear signs about hauntings going on in this penitentiary. I mean, there were 998 deaths. That could be 998 souls.
You know tornadoes made out of wind, right?
Yeah.
And there's been cases of tornadoes lifting up cinder blocks. If tornadoes can do that, then yeah, the wind can push open doors and all that.
Cinder blocks aren't that heavy, to be honest. They're like 15 pounds.
Okay.
And a lot of doors in prisons like that are like steel and stuff. Like,
Well, to be fair,
75
my
pounds.
door's made out of wood, and I've seen that opened by the wind.
well, yeah, that's wood. That's not steel.
Okay. You don't gotta rub it in.
Well, clearly we have discovered that there are a lot of things going on in the Moundsville Penitentiary, and there are a lot of things, too, that could be explained. Have any final remarks, Logan, before Seth makes his decision?
What's your opinion?
Let me think. You guys talk for a little bit. I'm going to just think real quick.
It's hard for me to come up with explanations behind some of these things that I've heard about in the penitentiary. I mean, behind the glowing eyes and the scratches when no one was there.
Okay, the glowing eyes could be birds, though. Or like bats or insects. Because like eyes shine.
That's true.
I'm not expecting some brolic man wearing a hockey mask that wields a machete. That goes I'm not expecting that from that castle.
I just say that if I went in the Sugar Shack or the Hole, the most two haunted areas in the prison, I feel like there would be a lot of stuff that would be hard to explain.
Alright, then what's up with the Hole?
Well, the Hole, that's where R.D. Wall was killed. There's a lot of unexplained noises, and there's all kinds of stuff that goes on in there.
Okay, I hear unexplained noises. Like, I could hear my name out for the wind. That happens to me a lot. That could be my mental health or something like that.
Yeah, that's true. But there was one other thing, though, that really got me about the whole thing. That there was an episode, actually, of Ghost Adventures on, I believe it was on Discovery Channel that I saw it, that they were in the Moundsville Penitentiary, and one of the fellows who they were investigating had an EVP, which is an electromagnetic voice phenomenon, if you're unfamiliar with the term, and they were actually able to pick up the voice of a ghost saying, "I'll kill you."
But yet, that stuff's channeled through like radios like supersonic speed, so that could just be the radio. I feel like a Shaniac right now.
All right, I think I've come to a sort of decision.
Seth, what do you believe?
I think I'm leaning more towards believing than not, because Kady just kind of gave more evidence. Like, no, it's just, you didn't really like give as much evidence. You kind of seemed a little lazy on the rebuttals.
Yeah, because I probably didn't do it in that much research, so that's probably my fault. But yeah, I'm the skeptic, so
Yeah, I think I'm definitely leaning more towards Kady on this one.
all right.
Well, behind it all, there are a lot of other things near us and even around the country that we have to investigate, and that's what we will continue investigating in the rest of the podcast. But that's it for today. So come back next time to see what other spooky stuff we have to debate.
Make sure to subscribe to Red Devil Productions for future releases from the program.